Welcome to the Sovereign Teacher, where I teach spiritual integration through tarot, family constellations, and embodiment. And today I'm going to do a reading for Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising. But I think this is also a reading for everyone because there are 5 planets in Aquarius right now. Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto. So that's a lot of messages there. So and there seems to be a lot of pressure going around too. So let's see what the message from Aquarius is and what all these other planets in Aquarius want to tell us. So Aquarius is the sign that is removed from all the other signs in terms of like looking at everything and the big picture and wanting to take care of the whole humanity. But it's oftentimes very removed from emotion and feeling and being human too. So that's like the downfall of that sign. I have Aquarius rising and I'm a Pisces sun. So I have the feeling. I still am very in my feelings. And I have an Aries moon, so I'm a little fiery too. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna get a card from the Divine Beloved Oracle deck to set an intention around our reading. And we're going to be doing these, I'm doing these astrological readings, so getting a whole picture of all the different astrological houses, or the 12 astrological houses in a circle. And each one has a natural house, but yours may not be in that same house in your sign, in your chart. For example, Aries is the first house, and I have Aquarius in Aries. And so you may have different signs in different houses, but this is where the natural, where the signs naturally live and what they're about. So we're going to ask, how is your soul being invited to live in alignment with the new earth? This is going to be like a reading for 2026, but right now we are in Aquarius. So Aries, where are you being called to begin? And this is a reading for Aquarius, but Aries is in the first house. So we're going to ask, where are you being called to begin? And the first house is the house of, basically, of self, of I am. That's what Aries is. So who you are. Okay, so first we're going to get one of these cards so that we can set an intention and a prayer around our reading. I started this reading and then I couldn't find my cards, so I had to stop and start again. So it'll be interesting to see what we get this time. We did get a different card. We got balance for the first reading, and this one we got divinity. I know my true identity. Okay, so get in prayer position, whatever that is for you. May I always remember my true identity, unlimited light and love. Let me know myself as pure consciousness. Wake me from the sleepwalk of believing I am only human. Oh, that feels right on. I did a couple of other readings today that were about that. So letting go of these identities that are smaller identities and opening to our larger identity of love, unlimited light and love. So I think that's what we're letting go of. So, okay, Aries. Aries in the first house, where are you being called to begin? The house of self. Okay. My dog is outside. She's calling me to begin playing with her outside. Okay, so we got the saboteur. So begin with your saboteur. Highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. And I just did a reading with my friends over the weekend, and it was, and this card came up. And it always reminds me of that Marianne Williamson poem. I think it's a poem. It's about our greatest fear is not our darkness, it's our light. It just reminds me of that. So it highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. The shadow attribute induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay, so that's where you're being called to begin, to look at your saboteur. I looked at my saboteur the other day. It was coming up for me. And I was recognizing that my saboteur was only sabotaging these human forms that things took place, but never sabotaging my pure spirit, which is where I wanted to go. So it never sabotaged that. It just sabotaged these things that were not in my highest good. So just another way of thinking about that. Maybe that will help. And now I'm going to get a card from, so the way that I'm doing this is it's an astrological reading. So we're going to get a archetype card from every house. And then we're going to get a Light Seer's Tarot card from every house with a particular question for every house. And so this is still the question, where are you being called to begin? And we're taking this from the Light Seer's Tarot. Sometimes we'll get more than one card, and that's okay. Ooh, the World. The World and the Saboteur. I'm gonna just say that it's actually calling you to look at the world and what's happening in the world right now, and acknowledge what's happening in the world right now. And then the saboteur, these really do go together, right? Okay, because maybe you feel like you're being sabotaged right now, but what if you're only being sabotaged because your worldly ideas are not fitting with your highest self, your highest good? Just an idea. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that one. All right, let's move into Taurus, the second house. And Taurus is our house of value, safety, body worth, our nervous system, and money. And I have Pisces, and my sun is in this house, the second house. But it naturally is the house for Taurus. And so our question is, what wants to be stabilized or embodied? So we're going to pull from the archetype cards. What wants to be stabilized or embodied? And we got the Father. Light attributes a talent for creating and supporting life. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Okay. The shadow attributes are dictatorial control and abuse of authority. Okay, so that's what wants to be stabilized or embodied. So if we can stabilize the light attributes of this, then we can bring into balance the shadow attributes, because this is so right on. Wow. Okay, for me, like, this is the narcissist card. The shadow attributes are the narcissist, and we have this narcissist archetype operating right now, and it's very difficult to figure out what to do with that energy. And people keep trying to fight against it, and that is not working. And I can tell you, because I had this situation in my personal life as well as what we're seeing in the world. Like, we're seeing it in the world. Narcissists are very much, they're injured, and they don't want to show that injured, wounded part of themselves, that vulnerable part. So they have this wall that's really, this wall up that they won't let anybody in. They won't, and they project this image of themselves that's grandiose, because trying so hard to hide that vulnerable part of themselves. And so you can't get through that armor. And they don't see themselves accurately at all. And, you know, in my experience, you cannot fight that. You cannot play with, I would actually, I was thinking about this morning. If you know Gino Oriema, the coach of UConn women's team, he's always saying, don't play their game, play your game. And it's very similar, right? Because you cannot play the narcissist game, you're going to lose. But if you play your own game, which is a win-win game, and use teamwork, and you include your spirit and the feminine, the masculine and the feminine in balance, which is part of the problem, is that we haven't really, the feminine has not been valued. But if we can do all of that and we play our own game, which is our highest self's game, our spirit's game, then we can not play that game. We just don't play the game. Because if we're playing their game, we're not going to win. And that's what Gino Ariema says too. Don't make them play, wait, I can't say it. Don't let them make you play their game. Play your game. And I mean, a lot of times there's a negative connotation with playing games, but if you're playing games where everybody wins and they're cooperative games, like adventure challenge type games, you know, basically do you. Don't get caught up in their game. And the card that you got with this for what wants to be stabilized or embodied is this giving, this natural giving and receiving energy, which is so beautiful and also really speaks to this, right? Okay. Because in a narcissistic relationship, there is no giving and receiving. It's just all taking. Actually, they don't even take. Nothing goes in and nothing goes out. Really, nothing goes in and nothing goes out. So you're looking for reciprocity in your relationships. You're stabilizing reciprocity. What you give out is what you get back. It's this, but you have to be open for that. You have to be receptive to that. You have to feel worthy of that, this is the house of worthiness and money and the body and the nervous system. So this is so perfect. Value and safety. Okay. This father energy, when it's right, when it's balanced with the mother energy, is beautiful. A beautiful guiding force. Do you know any fathers out there that are just balanced in their masculine and their feminine, and they're guiding forces. They have a talent for creating and supporting life. They're a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. They're protective, they're loving, they're supportive. That's the energy that you're looking to embody within yourself, because we all have masculine and feminine within us. Okay. Awesome. That was so great. So really feeling worthy of receiving, giving and receiving, knowing that your gifts are worthy to be given, and also feeling like you're worthy of receiving. That's what wants to be embodied. Okay. I love it. All right. Gemini is next. The third house, Gemini. And Gemini is the house of mind and meaning. And the question is, what story is being told? So we're going to get a card from the archetype cards. What story is being told? I'm going to have to let my dog in soon. Priest. Okay. So the light attributes of the priest are facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Okay, so for me, this is the spirit wants to come through. Spirit wants to guide us. Our higher self, God, however you call it. For me, it's God is everything. And our higher self is connected to everything and has a higher perspective. Okay. The shadow attributes violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So for me, that's just ego out of control. Ego always tries to interfere and feel important, and sometimes it gets out of control. So just trying to clear that channel for spirit to speak through you and speak to you, or your highest self, or God, whatever you refer to it as. You want to come in, baby? So now let's get a card from the Light Seer's Tarot. So the story that wants to be told, what I'm getting from that is that Spirit wants us to know that we are more than just human, that we are also spirit, that we have, that we are more powerful than we realize. And we got the Six of Wands for our card, what story wants to be told. So I want to get more from that, because the Six of Wands is about being seen. So maybe that's what it is. The Spirit wants to be seen and acknowledged. This part of you, your higher self, wants to be seen and acknowledged and expressed in the world. That is beautiful. Okay, I love it. I'm not going to get more from that. All right, the next house is Cancer, and that is the 4th house, or the 4th house of Cancer. And that's about belonging and attachment, and it's more unconscious, water, energy, fluid. And so we are going to ask, what needs to be held? Okay. The more that I do these readings, the better I'm getting at them, I'm realizing. Just more in tuned, and I'm getting more clear messages. Okay. So I left one of these in here just in case it wanted to express. It's just space. It's giving space to something. So what needs to be held? I think stillness. And the shadow attributes. The shadow attributes need to be held. These parts of ourselves that we don't want to see, that we don't like. Because it came out upside down. I do want to get more, because is there anything else that wants to be held in terms of our belonging and our attachment? What are some of these shadow aspects that need to be held? Okay. And we got the Damsel and the Miser card. Okay, so the Damsel is understanding the nature of healthy romance, and it inspires you to rely on yourself. The shadow attributes are waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. And I think that goes back a little bit to the Saboteur card, which is fear of self-empowerment. If we don't wait for that knight, then we have to be our own knight. And that's a tall order. Okay, and then we have the Miser, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. And the shadow attribute is hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. Okay, so that's what needs to be held. The part of us that feels like there's scarcity, that there's not enough, and maybe there's not enough for us. Like maybe we've felt like we've gotten shorted. Like other people get what's theirs, but we don't get ours. So holding that part of you, because there's a younger version of you who didn't get what they needed. And so that's real for them. So really holding and loving that part. And understanding that that was just the human story that was passed down to you. Spirit, God, your higher self has a different story for you, an opening to that. That's that, creating an opening for that. Okay. And like, yeah, I get that. This has been my message lately too. All right, so I'm gonna, the message I've been getting. I'm gonna do one of the Light Seers tarot cards. What else do we need to, what else needs to be held? Ooh, didn't want that many cards. I want less cards. Let's see. What wants to be held? No, not that many, please. A lot of stuff wants to be held. Okay, I'm trying not to. Okay, all right, if you really must give us all these cards, then so be it. But if I can get just like a few to focus on, okay, fine. All right. No, we're not taking all these. Okay, what wants to be held? Yeah, this one came out originally, so... Oh, these ones came out originally, so this is right. Okay, and we got 3. So the Lovers wants to be held. We'll find out more about that. The 2 of Pentacles wants to be held. And the Ace of Swords wants to be held. Okay, I want to get more information about these because I'm not really sure about that. Dualities want to be held. Dualities want to be held. Harmony, a lover, a romantic relationship. Unity wants to be held. Choosing to fall in love, allowing yourself to fall in love. Healthy boundaries, soulmates. All of that wants to be held. My heart is open to deeply meaningful relationships, and I expand into this union with loving trust. So the idea that you can be safe in relationship to others and life wants to be held. You can trust in your safety and security, and that relationships are safe. You can have good, safe, loving, healthy relationships with healthy boundaries. And there are certain people that you just need to walk away from, maybe. 2 of Pentacles, what wants to be held? The need to balance many aspects of self, juggling obligations, equilibrium, seeking harmony. So maybe you're struggling with obligations and things that you have to do, and then the things that you want to do. All of that wants to be held. And when you hold it, it comes into balance. And the Ace of Swords, you hold it, you acknowledge it, and things find their place. There may be things that you'll need to let go of that are from your past, and then other things, and this may be having to do with this card, that need to take the forefront. We're leaving behind some old stories, letting them go, and then we are coming into our own truth of who we are. New ideas, clarity, an aha moment, truth revealed, awareness, and heightened states of consciousness. Memory or thought, communication, victory, success, and triumph, a stroke of genius. I experience brilliant moments of clarity. Wow, that went right to my third eye. I felt that. Okay. So as you let some of these old stories go, and you'll be realizing your truth. Okay, so now the 5th house, Leo. Where does my soul want to shine? This is the house of creativity, leadership, and joy. Where does my soul want to shine? And we just had that full moon in Leo. So Leo, still very present with us right now. Still finishing its lessons. Okay. And we got King. More masculine energy coming up. Enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge. And for me, this is your divine masculine. So leading yourself, integrating all parts of yourself, and leading them, aligning and leading yourself. Self-leadership, sovereignty. The shadow attributes are excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without restraint. And that happens when we're out of balance. We get these feelings of entitlement and wanting to just take things and being reactive and maybe passive aggressive. So just being aware of that, acknowledging it. It's that part of you, that child part that didn't get its needs met. So just loving it, holding it, and allowing it to relax so you can bring your highest self into, so your highest self can be in charge and not your wounded child. But your wounded child needs to be cared for. And then it can relax, knowing that you're not ignoring it, you're acknowledging it and loving it and caring for it. Okay, Leo wants to, what your soul wants to shine as your sovereign self, leading. It wants to lead you in this leadership. That's cool. Okay, it wants to lead. Your King energy wants to lead, that masculine energy. But maybe you're not trusting it because of this dictatorial control and abuse of authority that you've seen with the masculine. So, but you have a benevolent father within you, your masculine energy. Okay, let's see, what else? Oh. Okay. Really, do we want all of these? Do we want all of these? Okay, what wants to shine? The 8 of Cups and the 5 of Wands. So the 8 of Cups is about walking away. So I want to see what the part of that wants to shine. Maybe it's your strength in walking away from those that didn't value you. Yeah, releasing what doesn't serve you. Leaving your old reality to pursue a new one. And the affirmation is, I walk away from negativity and I choose myself in a rebellious act of self-love. So choosing yourself in a rebellious act of self-love wants to shine. You can see the sun coming up over the horizon as she walks away from that which no longer serves her. And the Five of Wands can be about competition, but also I think about cooperation. And a building from what we've been given. So for me, it is like building on what our ancestors gave us. Like, we don't want to keep everything and all of the loyalties. Like, we don't want to keep the loyalties of things that don't work from them, but we do want to keep what they were striving for and what they gave us, the gifts of what they gave us, the gifts of our ancestors wants to shine. I'm not actually going to get any more of that. And cooperative teams, because I think that's what the message is. Okay, so we're going to move into the 6th house of Virgo, or integration and repair. And the question is, what needs tending or refining? Ooh, the vampire. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Okay, so what seems to me tending is letting go of something that is draining you. So what is draining you that you need to let go of? It's hard to let go of things. Depleting others for your psychic survival, that's the shadow attributes. Depleting others for your psychic survival. Chronic complaining and codependency, that's the shadow attribute. So it's one of those that needs tending and refining. Chronic complaining and codependency, and then maybe depleting others for your psychic survival. Or someone else is draining your life force. Oh my God, and I wanted to yawn when I took that card out. Oh, I do want to yawn. Letting go of that energy that's draining you. Yawns help let go of it. Okay, ooh, all right, death and rebirth. Ooh, cool. Okay, so the question was, what needs repair or tending? What needs what needs tending or refining? Death and rebirth. So really kind of, I think, this process of allowing what no longer serves you to go, and really focusing your energy on what you want. What makes you feel like, what makes you thrive. I was listening to that song by Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive, and I just wanted to change it to I Will Thrive, because it isn't about survival anymore. We really want to thrive. We've been surviving, just barely surviving and clinging, and we want to thrive. So what feeds your soul and your passion? What energizes you? Move towards that and away from what's sucking your energy and draining your life force. I'm sure you're very much aware of what that is. Okay. Oh, the next one is, I didn't even get that yet, but it's the 7th house of Libra. Where am I being met by other relational truth? Oh, this is interesting. Are we sure we want this for this one? I think this might be more of the tending, or what needs repairing. and what needs tending and refining. We got the prostitute and the martyr. I'm going to hold those for a minute because I'm not sure if those are related to the next one, but we don't want to throw them out because maybe they are. So the prostitute light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. Maybe. And the shadow attribute places material consideration and security above self-empowerment. Yes, I was getting this message overall. That we're worried about our finances, and that's preventing us from really moving towards our light and our highest good. And so we're sacrificing that. We're sacrificing our spirit, and we don't want to keep doing that. And the martyr, light attribute, the light attribute is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So in serving yourself, you are serving your cause. The shadow attribute is addiction or self-pity. So not getting stuck in that addiction and self-pity, and really learning to choose yourself, not sacrificing your spirit. Okay, so that's that's the Libra relationship. Where am I being met by other? Relational truth. So the relational truth may be that you're not being met by other because you're sacrificing your spirit. Oops. Okay, let's see what the tarot has to say about that. So resting and really learning to listen to yourself. You're not seeing things accurately, maybe. And there's a burden there. There's some sort of burden that you need to let go of. So rest, go inward. Really listen to your spirit. You need to let go of something so you can see things accurately. And move into the light attribute of the martyr, which is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. You want to serve your spirit, your higher self, and not negotiate the power of your spirit, or you're not going to be met the way you want to be. So you may be struggling with letting go of something that's that's a little sad. I don't like that. Okay, let's see. We're going to move into the 8th house of Scorpio. Sometimes we have to look at things in order to let them go. If we look at them and we acknowledge them, there's a lot of power in that, and we can let them go. So I'm with you here now. What do you need to acknowledge? What is this burden that's sucking your life force? Okay, Scorpio. Shadow, power, what must be felt, released, transformed? Okay, good. So the 8th house, Scorpio, what must be felt, released, and transformed? I feel dizzy. So the Scorpio is the shadow and your power. Rebel. Okay, you have an inner rebel that needs to be felt and transformed. The light attributes of the rebel are challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. And the shadow attributes are rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Okay, so this just sounds like the younger self, the shadow attribute, or the younger self. It's not recognizing your own power. once you recognize your own power, you realize you don't need to fight. You just stand in your power. Okay, and I'm going to get some tarot cards for that. So standing in your power. You may still not recognize your power, and you're moving too much, and you're sacrificing your own needs and goals and desires, and you're chasing. Six of Swords came with that. So that's, you're going on a spiritual journey. Let's see, I need more information about that one. So I'm not sure how that relates to your rebel. Okay, transitions. Help arriving at the perfect time. Rites of passage, healing, moving beyond trauma or shadows of the past. Okay, so Scorpio, right? We're in Scorpio. Shadow, power, death and transformation. What must be felt, released, and transformed. So maybe you still need some, still have some healing to do. And you're moving beyond trauma and shadows of the past. And you might need some support from others. And you may be going through a personal evolution, a spiritual transition or journey. And it says, I accept help as I easily cross this transition. So this speaks to me like of dark night of the soul, awakening kind of energy. Like there's something awakening in you that maybe you didn't want to see from the last one. Okay, I gotta wrap this up because my power is getting low. All right, so 9, Sagittarius. Meaning, vision. What larger truth is guiding me? What larger truth is guiding me? Hope I can make it through this reading without my battery dying. Really, I thought I only had one of these. Oh, it's the light attribute though. So it in light and in stillness, your spirit is guiding you, but you have to make an opening for it. And you have a knight. Loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor is guiding you. In tarot, that would probably be the Knight of Cups. Let's see what we get. The shadow attribute is allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle and romantic delusions. Okay, again, that's giving your power away. So you may be giving your power away. And then the 4 of Cups upside down came with that. So let's just look at that. 4 of Cups upside down. So Sagittarius is meaning, vision. What larger truth is guiding me? 4 of Cups. Oh, so just, we're going to do the Knight of Cups from this tarot too, since it's a very similar archetype card. And it says, seeking connection. And I am in touch with my emotions. A passionate soul, artistic tendencies, and creativity is guiding you. And then the 4 of Cups. So maybe this is focusing on the negative, pessimism, a time to practice gratitude. Okay, so practicing gratitude, because complaining came up before too. So you want to practice gratitude. I see the fullness and richness of my life, but there's something draining you and sucking you down. So that might be what it is. You need to let go of something that's draining you. Okay, the 10 of Swords. Oh, sorry. That's, oh, the 10th house, Capricorn. We're in Capricorn. And Capricorn is, the question for Capricorn is, what am I being asked to take responsibility for? Cooperation, teamwork, Capricorn. What am I being asked to take responsibility for? Okay. My hero, heroine. Light attribute, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. You're being asked to take responsibility. And that really, it speaks to the first card that we got. We got the Saboteur. So you're being asked to take responsibility for your personal empowerment. The shadow attribute is escapism and a false sense of heroism. Okay, passion for a journey of personal empowerment. This is your personal journey of empowerment. You're not responsible for anybody else. You're not being asked to take responsibility for anybody except yourself. Okay. And we got the Four of Wands. Another four. Four of Wands. What is that message? Celebration, prosperity, a gathering of souls, kindred, stability in home and relationships, sometimes signifies marriage. I am devoted to my connectedness, and I celebrate the wonder of loving bliss with my community. So maybe you're experiencing bliss and reciprocity in your community, but not quite in your relationship yet. So, where are you experiencing bliss and a sense of community? That's what you're being asked to take responsibility for. Putting yourself in the right place. Okay, the 11th house, Aquarius, what wants to evolve beyond the old system? Aquarius, liberation and the new earth, what wants to evolve beyond the old system? Oh gosh, I really hope I can finish this reading and I don't get cut off. Okay, networker. There's two cards. We got networker and the artist. So your inner artist wants to evolve, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. Your spirit wants to express itself through art. The networker enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Awesome. Okay, so that's what wants to evolve, the networker and the artist. And let's get a card from the Light Seers Tarot. And then the last house is Pisces. So first, we're still in Aquarius. What wants to evolve beyond the old system? Oh my God. Okay, so the Moon, the unconscious, the Two of Swords. The unconscious wants to evolve and become conscious, and the Nine of Wands. What is the Two of Swords about? Two of Swords. I'm trying to quicken this up. Two of Swords. A crossroads. You're at a crossroads, making a difficult choice. Opposing ideas or options, choosing the best route of action. Okay, when blinded by the unknown, which is the Moon, I can trust myself to move toward the light. So you may not know what's in front of you. This new way of being, you're not going to. You just have to trust and move towards the light. And the Nine of Wands. Yeah, you don't know what's up ahead. Okay. Nine of Wands. Determination, resilience, defiance, a last defense, the final push, excitement for what's to come, finding motivation in the face of difficulties. I push beyond my own perceived limitations and I remain open and trusting as I do. That's exactly the energy that you need. You don't know the future and you're not going to. You're just going to know the next step based on how you feel. What gives you light and energy? What makes you feel strong? This is the new way of being in the new earth. We don't We don't know. Because we're creating. We're co-creating it together. And that's what's really exciting. Okay, so Pisces. Surrender, spirit. Where do I release and trust the mystery? Where do I need to release and trust the mystery? Oh gosh. I swear, I don't know how many of these cards are in here, but we got another one. The light attributes. So making space and stillness so you can hear your spirit. And the dilettante and the judge, which is interesting because when I did my first reading that I had to stop because I couldn't find my cards, we got these in the Aries position. Now we're getting them in the Pisces position, the same cards. The judge and the dilettante. So this is what needs to be released and where you need to trust in the mystery. The judge. Balance between justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. Okay, so you need to release maybe your inner judge and give that to God. Give that to your higher self, your spirit. You cannot judge anybody else. But you can be your own judge of what gives you light, what makes you feel good, and what doesn't. And only don't allow the other stuff. The shadow attributes are offering only destructive criticism. So letting that go, letting that your inner critic go, releasing that, surrendering that, and trusting the mystery, balance. And the dilettante, the light attributes are delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So you do want to just, what makes you feel light? What makes you feel creative? Where do you want to express this? And surrender. Maybe surrendering the superficial too. The shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Okay, so letting go of thinking that you have to know. You don't. Your spirit or your higher self knows, but your human self doesn't know, and it's okay. Because your spirit is going out ahead of you, and you are safe, and you are loved, and you are protected, and you are powerful beyond measure. Okay, that's all I have for you, Aquarius, because I'm running out of time and battery. Okay, thank you for that reading. I hope that helps people to, I hope you got the messages from Aquarius.